It is a new year. 2022 was a doozy. Some of you may have had epic years, and others, I can so feel with you if you're just saying, oh my gosh, I know it's just a date. I know that the 1st of January is just one more day, but my gosh, it feels good to allow myself to let some things go and to think about stepping into something fresh. And one of the topics that I hear so much, mainly because it's a big topic for me as well right now, is this topic of self-love. And man, it is confusing. How do I love myself? And I had a really interesting realization the other day. And it's very fresh, but I wanted to share it with you because it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was thinking about actually something that I feel very often is that I love to be at the top of people's lists, right? Meaning when something great happens to them or when they're really struggling, that the people that I love know that they can count on me, that they can call me up and say, oh my gosh, you'll never believe what just happened. Or with tears streaming down their face, can we talk for a minute? And I had been exploring some stuff from Byron Katie, which if you don't know about her, she does something called The Work, and she does something called turnarounds of, a way to get a different perspective on things. And because I had that in the back of my head, innocently, I asked the question to myself, where am I on my own list? And I didn't quite expect the waterfall that came after I asked that to myself, because I realized that in my search and desperation and need to be up high on other people's lists, I had demoted myself on my own list. Which means that when something really cool happens, I'm not celebrating with myself. When something really crazy or when I feel really chaotic, I'm not sitting there being deeply compassionate for myself and holding me. And it's so easy to look to the outside world for that. It's so easy. But when we talk about self-love, one of the easiest ways that in this conversation with myself, I was thinking about it is, how would you want your lover to treat you? How would you want your partner, your deepest confidant, your best friend to treat you in that moment? And love doesn't always look like, oh, come here, baby, it's all gonna be fine. Sometimes it's, put your shoes on. We're getting out of bed right now. Come on. It's to love someone enough that you're willing to say, all right, now is the time. Now is the time. Come, hurry up. I love you so much that I'm not going to let you do that with yourself. And I was listening to a recent podcast from Mel Robbins, and she was in discussion with her husband, and they were talking about her high five habit, which is the habit of looking at yourself in the mirror and giving yourself a high five in the morning. And guys, you can laugh, you can think it's silly all you want, but man, what I realized, and it was so interesting because her husband Chris said the same thing. He said, actually, the high five, it feels silly and all of that kind of stuff, but that wasn't the hard part for me. The hard part is looking myself in the mirror, eye to eye, as though I'm somebody that I care about. As though that person looking back at me is at the top of my list. And to be able to say, I love you, genuinely, and that there's nothing that you can do, no amount of chaos that you can have, nothing that you can say that will ever make me desert you. We're a team, and that's it. And y'all, when I do that, man, it was hard for me to look in the mirror at myself because I am super disappointed with myself from this past year. This past year was nuts. and not nearly as productive and creative and connected as I would have loved. But I see how much I'm growing and I'm learning. And I was super annoyed with how many people were telling me, oh, you can't see how much you're growing and learning. But I couldn't, because I was so stuck with this mindset and this idea, I am a freaking mess. But I'm a freaking mess that's learned and grown a lot. And I have no doubt that all of this will be put to good use at some point in time. I don't see exactly how yet, but it's coming. And so that capacity to look at myself in the mirror in just a few days, it is already transforming the way that I'm talking with myself. I'm talking with myself like somebody that I care about. And it's easy to throw around that topic, self-love, as just words. But what would it be if you treated yourself as though you were the most precious, beloved in someone else's mind? What would that look like? And then it's to give that to ourselves. It's not just doting a massage or a touch or a sauna or a pedicure. Those are nice things for self-care, but they're not equivalent with self-love. Self-love is looking at yourself and remembering that you get to put yourself at the top of your own list. And that in turn flows out to create deeper connections with the world around you. So I'm wishing you happy 2023 and big love.